Listen, anytime, any place, anywhere, I'll fight you in your back garden. Like a dumb Klitschko, I'll beat you, you bum. You're a bum.
I want to unify. Is he up for the challenge? Like I said, I declare war. You know, this is not a battle, this is war because I was born to this.
Why am I sitting in like while you are sitting in your mum's spare rooms, just tickling your bollocks?
Come to see me, baby. No more hiding, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses. Let's make the fight happen. Let's see who's the best. I know I'm the best. Are you up for the test?
I'm through. Hey, put somebody else up and give me an interview. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Negative. I'm good. I beat Polly. I left with his belt and his girl.
Fucking was too fast. But it wasn't so much about it, was just that he was so fucking fast. Fast.
Amazingly fast.
Fucking amazingly fast. I was like, I thought Freddie was in there fucking hitting me too. So.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? MCR family. Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube podcast from iTunes, Spotify, Radio, etc. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter, joined as usual by my lovely co-host, the illustrious Mr. Robbie Hearns. But before you jump in, though, I just want preface the topics. We have Loma Campbell being ordered by the WBC. Yes. I know there's some talking points out there already, and I cannot wait to debate this because we don't have a lot of topics today, so we're going to get lost in the weeds, I feel like, let's be honest. And also, we have breaking news right before the show started. Obviously, the title said Joshua wants Usyk next, and then it's like the boxing god said, oh no, not today, because, ladies and gentlemen, Oleksandr Usyk is injured and out of his fight against Carlos Takam. So that fight has been postponed, been whatever. We don't know yet. More details are to come, but we do have some breaking news coming earlier before the show started. So that should be fun to get into as well. And also, coupled it with our topic of Joshua wanting Usyk next, how will this affect sort of the timetable of AJ's 2019 run? But digressing from that, like I said, I'm joined by the Han Solo of MCR, the illustrious Mr. Robbie Hearns himself. Robbie, how are you doing today? How's the new car?
Yeah, it's good. It's all right. It's got
All right.
a sport button and everything.
Oh,
Really good. Yeah.
sexy.
But there was also, technical issues. Plus, Sporting Icons was live. I don't know if he still is. So, it was a tactical lateness on my half. But yeah, we're here. WBC. Ordering Loma and Crawler. I've got
Whoa.
Crawler. Sorry, I was thinking Crawler.
Yo, you know what's funny? Is I've been so worried that I was going to do that all day. Because in my mind, I've been thinking like, oh, Loma Crawler. No, Loma Campbell. Like, just because they're C's and they're British, I can't do that. I'm the Yank, right? I can't do that. I'm glad you did it first. Thank you.
Well, for some reason, maybe I thought the WBC were going to order the rematch first between Loma and Crawler. That's what, because of these crazy WBC
oh my God,
rulings that they come out with. Yeah, recovered that one. But yeah, Loma Campbell been ordered, along with some kind of tournament that's already not going to happen. Yeah, I'll have my say on that. But I know Eddie's not exactly pleased with it either. But it is what it is, in the famous words of I was going to say former co-host kind of thing.
Yo, do you know that he deleted his social media accounts?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he went off the grid.
Oh.
He had like a panic attack. Anyways, digressing.
Oh, damn.
I just thought we should laugh about that. Inside joke. That's funny.
R.I.P. Snowflake. Yeah, what else? Yeah, Usyk injured. Damn, Eddie's having a bad day, man. But again, shit happens. But yeah, let's just get into it because
Shit happens, man.
It does a lot.
A lot. But anyways,
And buy a new car. But yeah.
Lomachenko Campbell approved for the vacant WBC title. Lomachenko asked for this. I was going to say like applied for it, but that's the wrong sort of verbiage to use.
Petition.
Thank you. I knew there was like a right word to use, and I didn't have it on the top of my mind. But anyways, I think this is a great fight. I'll be honest. If we weren't going to get Loma Kome, because let's be honest, it seems like for whatever reason that fight no longer was on the table, or at least all parties were not discussing it. You know, like that. There's no headlines about it, no interviews from Loma, Kome, their respective party and team talking about that fight. So it seemed like that fight had died off. It seemed like ESPN and even Richard Come's team were sort of angling for a Teofimo Lopez fight. And Teofimo Lopez is fighting most likely, I forget his name, for the IBF final eliminator. So Kome is off the map, off the board in a sense, right, in terms of what we can play with for pieces in the lightweight division. Who's the last best name out there for Lomachenko? It's Luke Campbell. And on top of that, it's a belt attached to it. So not only do I think we get the best fight possible for not only Lomachenko, but also for Campbell, because I think Lomachenko Campbell is in every single way a better fight than Campbell Abdullaev or Campbell Haney. I think no matter which way you slice it, those fights aren't better than Loma versus Campbell. On top of that, Lomachenko's name automatically legitimizes the vacant belt. Automatically does that. You know, it's no longer a vacant fight between a guy who lost a title shot against Jorge Linares and a untested prospect. It's now a vacant title shot in a unification with... Oh, it looks like we got disconnected from YouTube.
Huh?
Oh, we're back. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, let me know if we're back, because it says that we were disconnected for a second. That was weird. But we're back, Rob. Don't worry. But digressing back to my point, Lomachenko's name automatically legitimizes this vacant strap in ways that a Campbell-Haney fight just couldn't. Not at all. And even though there are some criticisms to this ordering, I think those two sort of aspects to this situation make this a best case scenario. But Rob, I know you have other opinions about it that differ from mine, and so I want to sort of open the floor for you. I want to not interrupt you. I want to work on that, but I want us to have a debate. I want us to, because we do have very differing opinions about this. And I know a lot of what we said in the chat is going to get rehearsed or rehashed on the show, and that's fine. If we retread ground we've already talked about off air, that's completely fine, because the people haven't listened to me and you bitch at each other for an hour. So that's what they ask for. That's what they pay for or not pay for. So, Rob, floor is yours to make opening remarks and statements.
Right. First of all, Matt, in regards to our back and forth.
I don't know I wasn't going to interrupt you, but I already love the legalese terms.
Yeah, I'm just letting the groundwork, bringing up all the files, get it all in line so I can present this case. All right. It's not the fight that I have an issue with. Loma and Campbell is a great fight. My issue is that the WBC have made a ruling where they've disregarded the whole Campbell being number one, number two is Abdullaev, Haney is number three. It was believed Abdullaev was going to be going, through Ramadan and would maybe miss it, so therefore the shot would pass to Haney. So the whole ranking system sort of comes into play. But they've come out and said Loma, who's a champion from other sanctioning bodies, not in the WBC rankings whatsoever. And I'll do air quotes petition to get this. I wonder how much a petition cost Bob Arum to get this shot for Loma. But I think the other boxers that are in the rankings that are going out there, fighting, building their position, paying sanctioning fees, all that kind of stuff, it's a bit shit on them. But don't get me wrong, it's going to make Campbell a lot of money. A little tiny piece of me, I know you brought this up in our conversation, but a little tiny piece of me thought, oh, fuck, come on, let Campbell win the fucking title.
I knew it.
Before.
I knew it. Hold on, where's the air horns? Hold on, guys. This is all I wanted. I won already in my mind, guys. I agree with you now. I agree with everything you say. Everything you say, I agree with you now. We're good. No debate.
Right.
Show's over.
Okay, Usyk, torn bicep. Damn. No, my initial thing was, wait, so the other guys in the division just get swept to one side just to let Lomachenko come in and have a go. And then I was like, damn, that is a bit, Poor my initial feeling, as soon as Michael Benson put the news out, I was like, bullshit. And a GIF, because now you can quote tweet with a GIF.
Amazing.
Great news. Finally, Twitter. You could do it in messages, but you couldn't do it when you're retweeting something. But now, let the games begin. But open season.
Already people are totally abusing it. You can tell on Twitter.
Sure.
It's so bad.
Twitter users have been waiting for this moment, primed. They've probably gone back in history for tweets that they wanted to do it to and couldn't. So they've gone back and had their feelings known in GIF form. But no, my initial thing was, because I know you came at me about, you're the Matchroom fanboy flag waving, and well, they didn't do this with Wilder and AJ. Oh yeah, shock, protecting Wilder. The difference being is Loma petitioned for this. I don't see Wilder, getting a petition.
No, my point about that is that, look, I don't mean to interrupt. Do you have anything else to say? Or
let's go Luke Campbell. Other than that, crack on.
But I'll be honest. First thing I thought was too, man, like, damn, man, poor Luke Campbell. Like, Campbell-Haney, like, it was a 50-50 fight in a sense, right? Like, it made a lot, in a sense, right? There's a lot of people out there that think Haney could win. A lot of people that think Campbell should be the favorite. But regardless, that was a more even competitive fight. We all thought that doesn't need to be overstated. We know that. However, I want to push back on the idea of isolating the sanctioning bodies, because I think that leads us to an issue where we get so frustrated with the inconsistencies, because the WBC, IBF, WBA, WBO individually, they aren't consistent with what they do. We don't get a lot of these orders, right, where we get a sanctioning body in a sense, even though Loma petitioned it. Let's disregard that for a second. Them ordering champion versus championship fights, they don't do that really, even though in almost every single one of their bylaws they state unifications take precedent over mandatories. Now, this to me is, yes, an inconsistent move by the WBC. Yes, we should criticize that inconsistency at all times. However, at this specific opportunity or this specific situation, we the fans got the best outcome, if that makes sense. That, yes, I understand that it's frustrating that the sanctioning bodies will at times be absolutely stringent to their specific rankings. Right, Rob? Their specific mandatories, and force the issue. And then there's at times they disregard that when a bigger option comes, when a bigger fight comes, a bigger paycheck comes, right? We know that. And that is an issue. But I think that's not 100% a separate issue from Loma Campbell, but it does not take away from the fact that Loma Campbell is the best outcome right now for the division. And yes, I understand that Haney, who's very upset right now, and Teofimo also upset. There's numerous people right now that are upset at this. Eddie Hearn is another one. Actually, let's read his quote really fast from Mike Coppinger, saying, what's the point in aligning yourself with an organization, working your way up the rankings, paying fees, only to be overlooked by a champion from another governing body? It should be contested by two highest-ranked available fighters. That was Eddie Hearn's comments to Mike Coppinger about this. And look, I understand that sentiment. I understand how Haney could be upset. I understand how Teofimo or Abdulaev or whoever in this situation feels like they got screwed over. I understand how they could be upset. But that, again, does not take away from the fact that we, as fans, the sport as a whole, to sort of make it a monolith, if we can. The sport of boxing is better off right now with Loma Campbell and Haney taking a showcase debut fight on DAZN, and Lopez fighting that final eliminator for the IBF strap and then going after Comey. I think the lightweight division and all those fighters as a whole is better off. We, the consumers, are better off with this outcome. And that doesn't take away from the issue of sanctioning bodies and their inconsistencies and us having to deal with that. But this is not the case for us to be up at arms, in my opinion, about it.
No, I get you. I like I said, it's that I agree. It's a great fight, and just as a fan of the, wanting to see the best fights, this is potentially the best fight. You got the number one ranked guy against the unified champion. Yeah. So and I get that, but I mean, we know how Fu feels about this. That he feels Loma coming in just to fight, but to fight for a vacant title. Some kind of is an angle where people can come and say, well, he didn't beat a champion for that bout, and it's some kind of asterisk against Loma. I mean, you can see where this is going. This is ESPN Top Rank, Bob Arum, trying to do what DAZN have done with the middleweight title. They're trying to completely have pure ownership. So they're going to have Teofimo going for the IBF, and obviously Loma looking at taking on the mammoth task of beating Luke Campbell. And then also with Mikey Garcia as emeritus champion, who said he's going to go and fight at 140, and then he'll look at maybe going back down to 135. Will it happen? I don't know. But that's the so-called super fight of the lightweight division. So that would easily, should Loma come through against Campbell, he's then got the options of a big fight with Mikey if Mikey decides to go down, and also obviously down the line Teofimo Lopez for the IBF if he was to get past Comey. And obviously, so I can see why it's done. I can see that, but for me, it's just the issue with, again, someone who's built themselves to a certain position in their rankings who's completely overlooked. Just like Dillian White, he's been sat at number one for all this time, and it looks like he's not getting any guarantee from Mauricio Suleiman going into.
But let's be honest, though, Dillian White and Devin Haney aren't the same, or even Abdulaev. Like, it just is not fundamentally the same here. Dillian White has beaten some great opponents in the top 10, in the top 15.
Oh, sure,
you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest here. If you were making a top 15 of the lightweight division, Haney, Teofimo, Abdulaev, they're not in the top 5. If you make a consolidated top 15, right? They probably aren't in the top 5. Maybe one of them sneaks in, but they're not number 1. They're not number 2. That just doesn't happen. That's why I want to take us away from being hyper specific about these sanctioning bodies, because that leads us into fighting about the WBC's morality or the IBF's morality and their ethics. And that's just not a worthwhile argument in my mind, because they don't have any. Like, they don't have any morals or ethics. Like, to assume that would be obnoxious, like, or ignorant, I'm not saying that to you, just overall. And to digress to what Fu's point was, which I know he's not on the show to make it, but I'm going to argue against it. Sorry, Fu, you're not here to argue with me. I think arguing to that very vocal minority of haters is always, not always, but most of the time, does you a disservice. That goes for me, that goes for you, Rob, that goes for everyone, and even the chat. Like, it goes for life. Like, they're not worth your time, fundamentally speaking, because their sense of reality is not reality. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, like, the logic doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're gonna tell me that Luke Campbell, let's say, fights Devin Haney, beats him, and then fights Loma, then all of a sudden the haters of Loma will view that fight as legitimate? You know what I mean? Like, they're all of a sudden going to be like, oh, no, it's a great fight. We love it now. No, they're not going to do that. Of course not. So I just think the whole chicken or the egg argument about whether Luke Campbell should get the belt first, then fight Loma, or fight for the vacant strap, to me is pointless from a competitive standpoint. Now, from a monetary money standpoint, I can see why Eddie Hearn's upset, because I can see why, in his mind, Luke Campbell with the belt, instead of fighting for the vacant strap with no belt, is more leverage for a paycheck. I get that.
Although,
but I don't care about that.
If you check the one-on-one chat, I think that explains regarding the splits for a vacant belt. It's possibly going to be 50-50 or 60-40 in Campbell's favor because of his ranking. I think potential lunatic sent it to me and sort of broke it down without me actually reading it too much.
It looks like the most extreme you can get is 60-40. Yeah. But hey, look, man.
They're going to make a deal anyway.
They're going to make a deal. It's not going to go to purse bid, and everyone's going to be happy.
Think about it. Looks like they're going to allow Ramirez to go and fight on DAZN, and this is going to be, I guess I don't know, but it's good to see that ESPN and like DAZN or Matchroom USA,
absolutely,
Top Rank and Matchroom working together. Despite Aaron telling Eddie he don't know dick about promoting in the US, and this when it comes to making a deal and making money, these guys will work together. So yeah, hopefully they're kind of leading the way with this, saying, look, fights can get made. You don't have to be on one side of the street or the other. We can make the fight. But yeah, that was just my initial thing. Is just, I don't know. And obviously, I guess Eddie, regardless, was going to have the WBC lightweight champion in his stable if it was Haney or Campbell. So
it was an in-house fight. He was loving it. Yeah.
So, but I was arguing with you before we heard the Eddie response. So I know what he's saying. I'm repeating Eddie, but I was saying those things before we knew what Eddie had said about it. Just, fighters building their way to a position. No, because I know where it goes sometimes with this.
Hey, look, I'll be honest. Rob, you were sending me the text, right? And I was like, okay, you got your talking points. Let me look at that Michael Benson tweet, right? Let me look at the replies, right? And I'm like, oh, damn. Almost verbatim. Yep. And then I got to the Wilder one. I'm like, he's going to say that soon. And you weren't saying it, and it was pissing me off, man.
Yeah, because once all I did was quote tweet it with the bullshit button, pressing the bullshit, sent it to you, and then we were arguing. I didn't even see what people were saying. You were like, oh, out there with the matchroom.
Sure. All right. Anyways, let's digress from the pettiness of ourselves. The fight itself. Let's talk about the fight itself, where it could be at, television rights. Let's talk about sort of the material things of the fight itself more than the WBC ruling, which I think we're just going to have a disagreement on. I think this fight is more competitive than people let on.
You want to look at the bookies odds?
I saw that. I saw it was like 22-1, something like that.
Loma opened up at 25-1 on like what is it, a minus 2,500 or 250 or whatever. And Campbell is 10-1 dog. That is wide.
Those numbers are probably gonna shrink, right? I would assume so, right? Yeah. And I'm really curious to go back and see what the Corolla numbers were for the betting odds, because
they were wider.
I know they're wider, but I'm just curious, like the margin, right? And then just look at
it was 12-1, I think, or 14, something like that.
As an underdog. I'm trying to remember. Anyways, digressing. I think Campbell has a few particular things that make me curious about the matchup. One, his fundamental boxing is just there. So even though Lomachenko is by far away a better boxer than him, Campbell has enough fundamentals on his side, and also, I've talked about this before, enough variance in his offense and defensive style where he could adapt, and he has the fundamentals to adapt. So if there are issues in the fight, he might be able to, let's say, round 6, 7, find something that works and start getting some good work in. I don't see him winning the fight, but out of everyone in the lightweight division, he probably has the second best chance to beat Loma right now. And so I'm all in favor of it. Now, attaching it to where the fight could be at. I know they've all said UK. Bob Arum has talked about it. They say UK. So I think we can safely say it's going to be a UK fight. Should we also safely assume it's going to be like an O2 fight and London should we assume Sky and then ESPN for US rights?
Yes.
And then on top of that, should we also assume it's pay-per-view in the UK? That's one that I've been iffy on about whether they make it pay-per-view or not. I think they probably try on pay-per-view. I'll be honest.
Possibly. They've done obviously Usyk, but that was with Bellew, who'd already done pay-per-views with David Hay.
Triple G Brooke. Did Brooke do pay-per-view before the Triple G fight?
Maybe one. I can double check that quickly, but
I know he was on undercards of pay-per-views, but I don't know if he ever headlined his own pay-per-view card before that Triple G fight with O2, right?
I'll look that up, but I don't know. I think depending on the undercard for it, it could be. If it had a real solid undercard with it as well, maybe. But I'm not
like if we see. So we have what we have, White Rivas and that sort of heavyweight card, right? We have Dave Allen supposed to be on the card again. Trezor Parker's probably they're trying to make that again for that card, right? And then in theory, later on, probably in the summer, it would be a Loma Campbell fight. In theory, again, in my mind, pay-per-view. You have Kelly, Cordina, maybe Fowler makes his comeback on that card. Maybe throw some other, UK prospect, maybe a Katie Taylor.
Sorry, I just found out Calbrook did do one.
What was it?
30th of May 2015, Calbrook versus Frankie Gavin.
Hold on. The legendary Frankie Gavin. Damn, that's right. That was pay-per-view. I remember UK fans were very upset about that. That was a good time.
And hang on, I've lost it. Where did it go? 139,000 buys.
So, spitballing here. Loma Campbell, let's say it has a good undercard. Let's say it has the names I mentioned: Kelly, Katie Taylor, Joe Cordina, Anthony Fowler, maybe Buatsi. It's throwing some other names that you guys care about.
Remember, 3 of those you just said are fighting on Joshua's card on June 1st.
Yeah, but I think they could.
Possibly.
Those guys could.
Against.
Those guys have quick turnarounds, on average, and on top of that, I think this fight would probably be late summer. If I'm a guessing man, I think Loma Campbell would be late summer, like August,
September, maybe. I think, yeah. Which still allows it over here to probably maybe be outside, so it could be a smaller outdoor venue, maybe. I don't know, but I would suggest it would easily sell. This is the thing. This is where you're going to see where the UK fans want to pay to go and watch boxing. This isn't going to be a near sellout, put it that way. This is going to be sold out within hours, I would imagine.
At Wembley?
Not at Wembley.
I'm joking. No, pay-per-view. I want to know pay-per-view, because to me that's, I'll be honest, a little more important, because I know the UK sells tickets well. You know what I mean? That almost can't be used as a barometer anymore for you guys, because you guys just sell tickets very well. You know what I mean? That's just a thing you guys go out to fights.
Put David Allen on there. Put David Allen on there. He's done.
So I am far more curious about TV viewership and pay-per-view numbers for you guys now than the 90,000, 20,000, 35,000, 45,000 seaters. You guys can do that. I have faith in you guys. It's pay-per-view. Does this do near the Triple G Brooke numbers? With the Sky Sports machine behind them.
Let me remember quickly.
Also, which fight does better in the UK? Just because I know we don't have a lot of topics today, right? Loma Campbell, O2, or Canelo Smith, Anfield or Wembley?
Which does better?
Yeah, which does better? And I use
in what way? Tickets,
and let's say pay-per-view. Combine the ratings, combine the metrics. Which one do you think will be more successful?
Just by the way, Gennady Golovkin, Kell Brook was 500,000 buys, 500,000.
I think I said that.
Oh, you did?
I think I said it. Yes.
Which does better?
I think it's easy, right? It should be Canelo Smith, right?
Well, judging by your level of praise that you heap on Canelo, I don't know. It's an interesting one because obviously neither guy has fought here.
And neither UK guy really is a big name, in a sense.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like Smith, he's not a big draw at all. And Campbell, he did. Yeah, they're not big. I don't know. It's a real tricky one. I'm struggling on bite. I think. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah,
The chat seems to be pretty much in unison with Canelo Smith.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the safe one. I know it's the safe one.
Yeah, but I guess because of like the weight division and
Canelo.
As us boxing fans know, Canelo.
And even though Lomachenko is European, I don't think that will count more than the name brand of Canelo and how I just see Sky Sports advertising Canelo out for us.
Plus, we know Canelo's a draw in America. Loma, we know, isn't.
Triple G wasn't really at the time.
Loma's not obviously a massive ticket seller.
No, he isn't.
Especially on a Friday in LA.
Doesn't do near sellouts. Sorry, Tony from T Street.
You didn't have to name him. We knew what we were talking about.
No, I'm name dropping him every time. Stupid motherfucker.
So yeah, but I mean, look, I'm excited. I'm glad. Yeah, like I said, I love the fight. Loma looks like he's coming over here. You think about it. For this little island, we've now had pound for pound Usyk, Errol Spence. Well, I say pound for pound. Errol Spence.
Whoa, yeah, come on. Respect Earl Spence's name is pound for pound.
You can't.
Argument.
Gary told us your Texas bias.
But my exception is Earl Spence. So that's
because he's from New York.
That was so good, Gary. Oh, yeah. That was good.
Who else? We're gonna have Inoue.
Yeah.
We've had Crawford. There's a good list now that have come over here to fight, and hopefully Campbell can stop that said person leaving these shores with the belt.
Oh, I thought you were going a different route with that. I thought you were gonna say like, and hopefully Wilder one day gets the courage to make the same plane trip over.
Yeah.
But
no, it was
okay.
good. But like Joshua said, you keep delaying it, I'll keep getting better.
Anyways, any other points about Loma, Campbell? Do you want to talk about like what's next for Haney at all? I mean, because that's. Do you think it's just gonna be a showcase DAZN debut now? It's pretty run of the mill.
Well, he was supposed to be on the Usyk card, so I don't know what's going to happen right now.
That doesn't look likely.
Or does he headline maybe?
Ooh, I could see that.
Possibly.
It would be the only thing. Well, I need to know the size of the theater they're at because that would change my opinion.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like if it's
Michael Hunter is also going to be on that card. But would they build a card around Hunter? I don't know. I don't think so.
It would be Haney, just like Ryan Garcia is headlining his own card. I think they would be comfortable with Haney headlining if the theater isn't that big. If it's let's say sub 5,000 seats.
Sorry, Vicky's just texted me to say me and you are at the same stubble stage.
Oh, that's so cute. Anyways, don't ever say that again. Oh my God, we need to delete the show now and just burn the website.
You thought I was fucking blazing.
Oh my God. Anyways, I don't know what I was even saying right before that happened. Do you know what? No, it doesn't matter. Let's be honest.
You were saying about the venue size.
Oh yeah, I think they could do a Haney switcheroo, make him the main event if it's a small venue. If it's a big venue, if it's 10,000 up, I think they don't risk it. I think they just postpone the event, cancel the card, refund the tickets, accept the loss, and move on and reschedule. I think that's most likely what's probably going to happen anyways. I don't think even Haney had an opponent made yet. Like I just think that, to be honest, they probably just cut the card and move on.
It's at the MGM National Harbor at Oxon Hill, Maryland.
So that's like I think it's like the Madison Square Garden Theater, so it's not that big, 'cause 4,000 or 5,000 seater. They could do it if they wanted to risk it. They could on Devin Haney's name value alone. Plus, I think he probably sells well in the DMV area, so it would make sense for him to do that. Digressing. Any last thoughts about Loma, Campbell, the consequences, the aftermath of this news?
Yeah, it's just obviously they wanted to build some kind of little tournament. It was going to be Haney and Abduliev, and then Lopez against I forgot the name, but apparently Bob Arum has straight out said he's not doing that fight. He's going down the IBF eliminator route. But Teofimo Lopez did tweet suggesting that he was maybe promised this Luke Campbell fight from the W, because we know he went out to the WBC.
I took it a different way. I took it him with Loma fight, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, he did go to the WBC, didn't he? After he won a certain fight, he was like that. Next week, he apparently was in Mexico with the WBC. And I took it he thought he was
maybe
being lined up for this WBC shot, but his own promoter has gone in with the the petition that they filled out to get Loma the shot. So, but obviously they're looking after him, going to get him the bout, and it, from Comey maybe.
Yeah, because the WBC did say that they want like a mini tournament, and Bob was like, "Fuck that. We're not going to have Javier Fortuna fight Teofimo Lopez.
That was it.
Get out of here. And then they're gonna. I forget his name. It was like Nakatina. I know I butchered that name, but it was something like that. It was. I don't know. It's the IBF rankings, man. They're horse shit most of the time.
Nearly hit you with a rap ad lib then. But
that'd been good.
I know. I was too slow.
Damn it. Anyways, I think, like you said, I think it looks like Bob Arum's Top Rank, ESPN are making their power moves to try to consolidate the lightweight division, similar to DAZN with others. Not WBC, PBC with the welterweight division. Like it looks very apparent that that's what they're trying to do, and it looks like it's working right now. To be honest, like Richard Comey, who was originally a PBC fighter, is on ESPN. It seems like he's lined up for a Teofimo Lopez fight on ESPN later on this year, maybe. Like the fall, maybe first quarter next year. I was pretty close. Leonard in the chat saying Nakatani. Like, I was really close.
I think you just went with Nakatomi. I think you were thinking of Die Hard and the
Nakatomi
Tower.
Yo, I see that tower all the time, man. Anyways, digressing. What was I saying? And I think Top Rank, honestly, could very well get every belt by this time next year.
Or could Matchroom?
No, there's no way Matchroom could do it because they don't have a straight line to Richard Comey's.
They're working together. Plus, I think who's his new manager that he hasn't got? I don't know who the sources are, but that new manager that he hasn't got, they've worked well with Eddie before, I believe.
Yo, that was so good. That was so good. It was literally like maybe an hour later.
I think you sent it. You like retweeted it or sent it to the chat like late that evening, or even my real early morning when you're going to bed. And then like 3 hours later, Michael Benson or someone pointed out, and I was like, "Oh, all right, Ed's sources are correct."
And for those who don't know, we're talking about Richard Comey. Went after low key Mike Coppinger for saying that he had signed a co-manager deal with Keith Conley, who's a really good manager, by the way. And then like 3 hours later, he came out.
I don't know who your sources are, but you're wrong.
Super wrong. How dare you? Anyway, 3 hours later, he's like, I want to say I'm very happy with my new management deal with Keith Conley, one of the best managers in the game. And Mike Comforter's right there in the replies with like a T emoji or whatever. It was hilarious. But anyways, digressing. Let's get to the breaking news of the day in a sense. Obviously, we're going to connect it with this some way because we have to talk about it, though this does throw the headline out of whack for the show. Joshua said he had no problem facing Oleksandr Usyk next, and like everyone has been saying, even Deontay Wilder, the fight's not happening next. A Wilder AJ fight. That's just not on the table. It's not happening. So I saw this headline. I was like, oh, it makes sense. Like I would love an AJ Usyk fight, especially if we don't get AJ Wilder till 2021 potentially now or whatever. Fuck it. Who cares, right? It's a great fight. Cruiserweight undisputed champion versus heavyweight fight champion. All for it, right? And then, because also on top of this, I'm thinking the timeline works out. Usyk fighting late May. I think AJ fights like the next week. So their timetables just worked out perfectly. But of course, that's now a little bit. Oh, I must have deleted it. Oh shit, I did delete it. Damn.
Who was it from?
It was Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn tweeted out saying, "Hey guys, sorry, Oleksandr Usyk's hurt, injured, and we're gonna have more details soon, but fight's postponed." So, Rob, you don't need to get the tweet. It's fine.
Yeah, update. Due to a bicep injury, Usyk has been forced to postpone his heavyweight debut against Carlos Takam, scheduled for May 25th. The announcement regarding our Maryland show will be made shortly.
I like that. That was good.
Hashtag Usyk Takam at DAZN USA. Over to Skip.
Well, thanks, Mike.
Mike.
Just generic names on sports broadcasts. I mean, do we think that I know what my opinion is, but I want your opinion first. Do you think that Usyk Takam just gets rescheduled for in the next couple months and like it's no big deal, and we get maybe an Usyk AJ fight fall of this year, and really the schedule for AJ and Usyk is kind of just moved off by a couple months, maybe 3 months, and that's really it?
Does Takam jump in with Michael Hunter? I don't know necessarily that Hunter had an opponent.
I mean, think about that, Rob. I mean, Takam would. Let's be honest.
Oh,
he's game.
Yeah.
I don't think they should do that though, if that makes sense. Like I think, like the Usyk Takam fight just made the most sense in the world for his debut in the heavyweight division in my mind. If you weren't gonna go after like a big name like a Dylan White, for example, or Luis Ortiz, one of those contenders, or even a champion first, like Takam made perfect sense. I don't know if I would like to sacrifice that fight for Hunter Takam on short notice, for Hunter just to win a very boring decision against Takam. No offense, Michael Hunter out there listening. Sorry.
I think it makes sense for Hunter, to be honest.
It makes sense for Hunter. Absolutely right. Does it make sense for AJ? Does it make sense for Eddie Hearn? Does it make sense for Takam? Does it make sense for Usyk? Does it make sense for us as the consumers and fans? I would say no to all of that. And that's why I think I'm not really in favor of that idea. Now, if we're talking about saving the card, then yeah, I guess go for it. But this is boxing. Like, we've never really been worried about saving the card. Cards get pushed off. It happens all the time. Very rarely do we get the Triple G Vons Monterosen fights, right, on short notice to sort of save the event, right? That doesn't really happen. So I be honest. I think they just move the card. I think it's a bicep injury. It doesn't sound like it's that extreme, though they haven't really given any details to it. So I say make the fight for July, when the arm heals up and he can get a training camp in, and just reschedule it. And all those people that were on the undercard, put them in maybe AJ's undercard. I forget what else is on DAZN's schedule for like the next quarter or so that were like U.S. fights, because I don't think they could move them to like Glasgow.
Andrade Selecki.
Oh, perfect. I could see a lot of people jumping to that card.
Is that June 29th? No.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's late June. I know it's late June. But look, I just think that's the easy thing to happen. You cut your losses, you move on. And again, I think the Usyk Takam fight makes the most sense. And I think if you're Eddie Hearn, if you're Usyk and Takam, if you're those three parties, innately the only ones that matter, I think you still want to make the fight. And if the injury is not too extreme, you can do it on pretty quick notice too. But again, I think it only just moves the timetable for AJ Usyk fight by a few months at most. I think we still probably get this fight this year. I don't think AJ is going to fight 3 times this year. I'll be honest. I think we get an AJ Usyk fight November, October. maybe a December fight. But I think that's probably what's going to happen. Rob, any thoughts on Usyk injury? Thoughts on AJ Usyk, and does this hurt that fight happening this year at all? Your thoughts on it all? All the fun
I
stuff.
think they will still want to test out what he's like at heavyweight, and also B, the bicep. I think a bicep.
Yes.
Don't know whether it's a tear or a rupture or whatever, but it can be quite a long sideline. I think, especially you think a boxer, his bicep wants to be pretty good, right? Shout out to Koto's bicep, giving Saddam Ali his moment in the sun. Yeah, it's a shame. I was looking forward to it actually, as much as people question Usyk in the US and I don't know where it is. I just want to see it on a TV, so it doesn't matter to me whereabouts in the world it is. But yeah, I was looking forward to it, seeing how he fared. I thought Takam was going to be someone he could maybe box to a sort of an easy decision, maybe even have him badly hurt and maybe get a stoppage, but that Takam would be game, come forward, rugged, tough guy that would pressure Usyk and give him something to look at against obviously a much bigger guy. So I was really looking forward to it. And obviously the card, we knew Haney was going to be on there, Michael Hunter was going to be on there, but obviously they had to save the Joshua date, in my opinion, just because of it was all set in stone. So many tickets sold at MSG. I've seen people saying they should have just cancelled the event and stuff, but that was never going to happen at this stage, I don't think. So, but a card with Usyk in a small venue, I don't know. Maybe they push this one back, even like scrap the card, but they may still save it. Like I say, maybe Haney can headline, do it as some kind of a bunch of the US prospects on there, sort of like an American next gen type deal. But yeah, it's a shame. Always bad when you may be looking forward to summer, but injuries happen. This is obviously very physical sport, and shit happens, man.
Yes, to quote the great Angel Garcia, because obviously he has a trademark to that quote.
Oh, sorry. How much did that just cost MCR?
Oh fuck, we're screwed. Yeah, live streaming is now canceled via YouTube.
Let's get ready to rumble. Let's really
no. Let's not do that. No.
We're gonna have to
that one especially.
Dip into that Patreon money, Matt. Anyway. Time to cash in that podcast check.
Oh yeah, all $40. I think it's actually like towards like 60 now. Woohoo!
Woo.
I'm not cashing out till it's at least 100. Anyways,
3 years to go.
3 years to go. Let's do it. Anyways, before I get to the last topic of the day, remember, ladies and gentlemen, go to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. For only $1 a month, you get extra shows per week. Plus, all the proceeds go towards the show. It goes towards Rob. It goes towards food. It goes towards me, basically getting equipment, travel expenses, parking fees to go to all these press conferences and media events and all that stuff. You guys loved my scrum or my interviews with Eddie Hearn at the Rungs Via Estrada press conference. I would love to do that more often. How do we do that? Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. $1 a month, which is what, like 3 pennies a day, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Or you can do the $99. And it figures out something like $8 a month, something like that. Shout out to the DAZN business plan.
Anyways, go to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers, Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. Let's get to that last topic of the day, and it's a good one, Rob. Hey, we talk about how shitty sanctioning bodies are. Well, hell, they finally did something right. Finally, something right, guys. WBO, surprisingly, refuses to sanction Oscar Valdez, Eric, whatever his name is, as a title fight. So, hopefully, we get Valdez fighting a actual person that we know or, like, that matters in boxing. That would be nice for Valdez in his long career to get someone that is a better name on his resume than Scott Quigg. Come on. What are you doing, Valdez? You're just really frustrating. Rob, any thoughts on Valdez and the WBO refusing to sanction this fight? Obviously, pretty surprising because the WBO have often had alleged connections to Bob Arum and Top Rank. So your thoughts on this?
Well, they also said Gilberto Ramirez had vacated the title, and then they said he didn't, and now he has. So I don't know. No, I'm not really that bothered by this news. I don't know. Maybe Loma can go in and fight for it or something. Just Loma.
Just Loma. Oh my God, it's all about Loma. It's okay, Rob. You guy can win, maybe.
No, look.
I'll put it this way. Hold on, very quickly. I can just tell how you are deep down on the inside because your energy about this matchup is completely different than Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis.
I think there's a world of difference between the levels of
No,
talent.
of course.
between
No, of course. I'm just talking about your level of confidence, right? Like Josh Taylor, right? You know what I mean?
Look, it is like I said. Oh, it's Loma, but yeah, it is Loma. I'm not going to lie. I just it's like, can I beat Haney? Yeah. Can I beat Abdullah? Yeah.
Loma,
yeah. To beat the best, you got to be the best.
wait. You said Loma?
Say what?
No, that must be wrong.
No, look, I'll give him a chance. I really do. But the bookies don't often get it wrong. And we've seen Loma. He wants bouts. He's motivated. He wants to. But I don't know. Campbell gave a good fight to Linares. We know Linares gave a good fight to Loma until he got punched in the liver. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a great fight, British soil. Maybe I'll be credentialed.
Maybe, yeah, that's true. Remind me which card you applied for credentials for. Was it the
White Revis?
Yes. Is there a next gen card coming up? That's
Friday. I didn't. If it was,
yeah.
I was going to go for it, but it's actually a Friday card.
Nah, I completely understand.
Shout out the thrill, Jordan Gill.
And also, shout out to the Friday talking point that I have, right? That, hey, Friday is just hard to sell fights for because people have work, man. Like, people can't leave at 4 or 3 p.m. and go and sit and watch fights for 8 hours on Friday usually. Saturday, it's a much easier day. Sunday, try that out more often, guys. Come on, Sunday fights. I'm all down for Sunday fights.
We'll see. I don't think the Nottingham traffic is as widely famous as the LA traffic.
I'm not talking about traffic. Just people are busy on Fridays. Like that's a work day. Just that alone, people are less likely to go out, even though it's a Friday night.
Not if boxing's on or darts. Maybe there's some darts on.
But it's Jordan Gill. I mean, he could do well. People like him.
The thrill.
And he's good. Yeah. He's really good. Digress. Let's go to callers 323-870.
One thing. Did you see? I know we haven't spoke about it really, but possibly 20 million offer to Errol Spence for Canelo. And he's come out and said, "I'm not. I would, never take the first offer." And he's also suggested that fight can happen. Is it gonna?
I saw that, and I'm just like, man, look, we can't even get Spence Crawford. Okay, like, doesn't mean you're talking about Canelo Spence. Stop, like, you guys are just.
Well, I don't know.
It's
Canelo money is different to Crawford money, right?
Oh, absolutely. No. It's not about that. It's just the amount of red tape that is stopping a Crawford Earl Spence fight is there, if not more, in a Canelo Earl Spence fight. And honestly, even more so now. Because ESPN and Showtime or Fox, they're linear TV, right? Like you could have a pay-per-view deal with that. Very easy, right? It's the old school paradigm to make those super fights. With DAZN, it's new school paradigm. To make that super fight is vastly different because you don't think that Al Heyman and PBC and Earl Spence thinking, hey, why are we doing that on DAZN, guys? Like, Spence, Canelo, pay-per-view, let's do this. Why are you guys staying over there on that app. They're going to have that idea, and which is fine to have, I guess. We can talk about that in a later time, but the red tape is just all over that. So while I do see a lot of other channels getting all hyped about this topic because they're clout chasing, and I get it. It's Spence, it's Canelo, it's $20 million. It looks great on a headline. I get it. But I just think, like, look, it's nowhere near reality. It is purely, I would say, Spence being quite self-aware in terms of maneuvering media and creating headlines. Applause for him, but I know what the game is. So I'm not going to address it like it's actually a negotiation, like it's actually going to happen, because it's not. It just isn't.
No, I just wanted to bring it up because it was. I know a lot of people were talking about it. It's been on Twitter quite a bit. Yeah, I mean,
where did that
Sorry,
where did that news break? I didn't see where the news, like, what interview was that? Like, was it like an Ellie Setback interview or something?
I think it was Fight Week for Canelo Jacobs, and Oscar brought it up.
Ooh,
and
okay.
it came out about 20 million. The number 20 million came out, and then that AB Boxing News spoke to Errol. I don't know when it was, but this week,
sometime in the fight week.
And he said he brought it up, and he said, "Never take the first offer, man. Never take the first offer." And then it sort of came out that but that's something that can happen. But I don't know. Like you say, maybe it's a lot of figuring out. But if he wants that Canelo money, he's got to go to the zone because he's obviously exclusive to the zone, right? So I guess that's where the red tape begins.
And then again, we have no idea what that contract is because, I mean, there's been a lot of really good reporters saying, hey, look, that contract, it looked great on the press release, but there are a lot more, not requirements, but sort of clauses within the contract that doesn't make that $365 million guarantee, air quotes, guarantee contract look as rosy as it does, but that seems like it's nitpicking. Let's get to callers because Gary's been on the line this whole time, waiting patiently. Gonna yell at you for being late, Rob, so just get ready for that.
I am.
Gary.
Hang the button already.
Gary, what's up?
Rob, I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed at this point.
Oh, I can live with that.
I can live with your disappointment.
This one goes in your permanent record. This one's gonna follow you around.
That's all right. You don't tend going anywhere else.
Okay. Well, when it's time for a promotion, you're gonna have to explain this. So good luck. Real quick, I wanted your opinion on Canelo and Spence. Matt, you're with me, right? You think Canelo knocks out?
You kind of broke up there. What did you say? Canelo does what?
Oh, Canelo Spence. Canelo would knock Spence out, or Canelo would beat Spence.
Yeah, Canelo beats Spence. Yeah, 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times right now. It's not even a question.
Okay. So if you're Al, and you're whatever, Derek James, and that offer is 20, and you go back and say, I want 30, and they say, here's 25. So you get the offer up to $25 million. It's a real offer. I know this is all hypothetical.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm going with you.
$25 million offer.
Love the negotiations right there. That was great.
Very simple.
Right?
20, 30, 25, done.
Right? Like, if I'm his team, I tell him, you're going to lose. Know that you're going to lose. You might get knocked out. It could be vicious, but I can't tell you to turn down $25 million. I mean, what do you tell him? If that money is real, that's the real offer.
Great trainer, by the way, that is.
I mean, look, he's already gained he got like 10 million plus for the Mikey fight, man. Like, he's already making millions already. Like, is an extra 15 million a lot? Of course it is. It's over 100% more of what he made for the Mikey fight, right? But is enough for him to go, look, like, I'm going to sacrifice my career and brain health and go up 2 weight divisions and fight Canelo, or I'm just going to stay here at 147, make millions fighting Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, and then maybe Terrence Crawford for a big paycheck. That is going to be that much too. So, yeah, Canelo's a lot of money. I understand that, but he's still making a ton of money now. So, I don't know if it's as much of an issue for him. You know what I mean? Like, he's already a millionaire. He's already set for life.
We never know who's set for life, right? Like Allen Iverson was broke 2 years after he was done playing in the NBA. Right? So you never know, what people do with their money. He's not getting, and we're guessing he made around $10 million in that ballpark for Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, that's what Eddie Hearn said.
Which is a ton of money. He's not getting more than that, really, for anyone except with the possible exception of Crawford, and that fight's not going to be made anytime soon.
Wrong.
25.
That's just wrong.
Okay. Okay.
Manny Pacquiao.
What have I got? Pacquiao's fighting Thurman. Isn't that all but done?
Yes, and?
So he's not. If Pacquiao,
you're talking about you're talking about this fight has to happen next? No, he's not. He's fighting Porter next, dog. Like, so the fight, no matter what, we're not talking about the next fight. You get what I'm saying?
I thought this would be in. This is not for September. I assume this
No,
is for September.
because Spencer already has a fight with Porter.
But that's not signed yet, is it?
It's
WBC
look. It's all but set in stone. I think the only thing that they're leaving is whether it's going to be pay-per-view or not, and it looks like it's not going to be pay-per-view. So they already have a fight lined up. They do. Like, Spencer already went on Twitter saying, like, I got a fight lined up, but I'll deal with the rest of you guys later, when he was like talking about Crawford, Danny, everyone that was chiming in about him.
Okay. So then So that fight wouldn't potentially be for almost a year from now, right?
Yeah.
A Canelo Spence fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Thurman Pacquiao, right? So if Thurman beats Pacquiao, I mean, do you think anyone wants to see Spence fight him at that point? So the only way that fight is if Pacquiao wins.
You're telling me Thurman, the guy that off of a 2.5-year layoff still did the best Fox numbers out of the entire lineup for PBC. That guy, if he beats Manny Pacquiao on pay-per-view, that's probably going to do pretty well. That people won't want to see him fight Spence. Is that really your argument?
I'm saying he's not getting $20 million. I'm not saying he's not getting.
I'm not saying he's going to make 20, 25 million with those guys. I'm saying he's going to make 10, 15 million with these guys, and that's enough for him in easier fights. And he can still establish a great legacy, be pound for pound, all that shit. You get what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I'm just saying if you're Spence.
If you're playing devil's, no, of course. Look.
Yeah.
Are they seriously going to consider it? Absolutely. If that offer ever does actually materialize, absolutely. Do I think they do it in any time soon? No. They got plans.
Okay.
And their plans still make him a multi-millionaire.
And then what about this? What if they gave? Well, let's say Hurd looks great next week or this week. Is it this week? It's this week.
Yes,
let's
it's
say
this
Hurd
week.
looks great. Hurd destroys J-Rod. Pretty good name. Do you think that they could give a similar offer to Hurd, or do you think that's exclusive? That's only Errol Spence. That Hurd's not big enough yet. That offer's only for Spence.
Come on, Gary. Hurd has not done 400,000 pay-per-view buys. Hurd has never done 6+ million views on a basic cable channel. There's no way they give Hurd 20 million. Spence he's a star now. He may not be a superstar yet, but he's a star. We have to realize that now. Hurd is not.
Okay, so there's no other name that they would give that a similar offer to, right?
Not that would be at like junior middleweight or welterweight. That would be like a weird name for like a quote super fight. Like nothing like that. No. Like even like Jaime Munguia, he wouldn't get anything like that because it's in-house too. Let's be honest. Even like if he moved up to 168, there's no one there that they would offer 20 million for. There's no one that is Earl Spence. There's no one except for maybe Manny Pacquiao, but they're not going to do a Canelo Manny Pacquiao fight.
Well, you were talking about him going to 168. This isn't going to happen, but it would cross my mind today. Who would you pick? And it's a hypothetical, and Rob, you can answer too. Caleb Plant versus Canelo at 168. Who would you pick?
It'd be a real good fight, but I think Canelo would win.
Okay, Matt.
I agree, and I think it's largely due to the power difference of the two. Because I don't think the boxing disparity is going to be that much. Like Caleb Plant has done very well, obviously, for just being leaps and bounds a better boxer than everyone he's faced. Canelo won't be that guy. Canelo will be able to match him in terms of speed, in terms of boxing ability, in terms of IQ. I think it'd be a tough fight for Caleb Plant, but one that I would love to see.
Another one where Canelo's defense, I think, shines. Personally,
I would kind of lean because you say he can match him for skill. I agree. He can't match him for speed. Caleb Plant's really quick. Like, I especially like foot speed. He would have trouble cutting off the ring on Caleb Plant. I
don't know about that
in a fight like that.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I think maybe, but the disparity would be so tiny that it won't matter. I don't think there's a drastic speed difference between the two. And to be honest, if I had to pick one that would be faster, it's actually Canelo.
You think Canelo's footwork, his foot speed, is faster than Caleb Plant?
No, but I think it's good. It's good enough. It's really fast now. I mean, you look at Canelo now and compare him to when he fought, like, let's say, Liam Smith, Alfredo Angulo, like those guys, right? It's night and day difference, right? Like you know that. But his hand speed, I mean, come on. Like Canelo's hand speed is
the hand speed's really good.
Is
I
different.
was talking about his foot speed being able to track Caleb Plant down.
I think the foot speed is fine. I think that's not an issue. On top of that, his technique on cutting off the ring has improved so much over time that he can cut off the ring against Daniel Jacobs and Triple G like it's nothing. I don't think Caleb Plant will be able to maneuver as much as he is accustomed to. I just don't think he can do that. Not against Canelo.
It's potentially a really boring fight.
Oh yeah, it could be a very boring fight. It could be a great fight for us hardcores to just see the sublime technique of boxing, but it's not going to be an action-packed fight.
Okay, I wanted to get. Let's go back to the actual topics today. I know you're not into conspiracy theory, Matt, but I am. So let's go down this path.
Okay.
Soundbite. Get the soundbite ready.
Thinking about. Yeah, let's get the conspiracy theory. I was thinking about going to the Usyk fight in D.C. There are tickets are on sale. They're not expensive, and almost all of them are available. This thing has sold no tickets. Do you think that this is an actual injury, or do you think Eddie is thinking about moving the fight or changing the date because it's not selling anything? Tickets are $60, and there's thousands of them available, and the venue's not big.
Look, I was at hold on very quickly, Rob. I was at a Eddie Hearn event. I was at a Match from USA event that did pour. I was at Rungas Via Estrada that did. They say 5,000 people. They say that. Okay. So, look, I don't think they're worried about ticket sales. I don't think that.
Okay.
They know they're operating at a loss in a sense. You know, they're in a sense a new company, so they're going to be operating at a loss for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't think it's a conspiracy to move the event to somehow sell tickets at a better venue or city. I think that is not the issue at all.
You could take that $60, Gary, and go to the Barclays Center and get a Wilder ticket.
That's true. They're super cheap.
$60 tickets there as well, man.
There's no way you get a Wilder ticket. Are you serious?
Yeah.
How much are a Wilder ticket?
They're super cheap right now. Andre Diakonu, who's a good friend of the show, obviously, he's posted online and he had a side-by-side and he was looking at Ticketmaster or StubHub, one of those sites. And he had a side-by-side of the AJ fight at MSG and the Wilder fight. And the cheapest ticket for the Joshua fight was $200 something. The cheapest ticket for the Wilder fight was $57.
Well, okay, let me flip this around, right? Because the Barclays Center holds almost 20,000, right? So, Rob, if there was something at the O2 Arena, a Kell Brook fight or something like that, what tickets starting off? What are
£40, which is let me.
£40 was $55, $60. So
$60?
yeah, around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking now, Gary, on Ticketmaster, and tickets range for Deontay Wilder Brazil, $57 up to $2,507.
Okay. They want to sell out, basically, right? They're going to try to sell the event out. Try to get as close to the 18,000 as you can.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay. Yeah. I mean, I have no interest in that fight, so I'm not going to that fight. But that's if you're in the New York City area or you're going to be there, then that's a good price point for that fight.
Yeah.
I agree.
What's on the undercard? I forgot. What did I say was on the undercard recently?
Have they announced the undercard?
Something. Is it Rigondeaux?
Oh, I wouldn't mind seeing like Rigo.
No,
and
Rigondeaux is on the Jamal Charlo undercard in June.
Oh, that's right. Let me just.
And he's fighting Julio Ceja, right? That's a good fight, actually.
Okay, Lomachenko versus, and I was just going to say Crowley. Why Luke Campbell?
Oh, that's right. Gary Russell Jr. against Kiko Martinez. Also, Gary Antonio Russell and Gary Antoine Russell.
All the Russells.
Richardson Hitchens. Yeah, they pretty much got the whole thing.
That's a bad undercard. Anyways, back to you, Gary. Loma Campbell.
Why isn't his brother on it?
Like, it's fine. It's we would say Luke Campbell is a top 5 middleweight, lightweight, right? Top 5 probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not on box, right? He's not even in the top 50.
I'm happy about it, but it's not competitive at all. I think he wins 0 rounds and probably gets stopped round 8 or 9. Like, Rob's saying,
I need to rap them. I can use my ad-libs. Watch this. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Damn.
I don't even know what that means.
Anyways, Gary. Yes, yeah. Campbell will probably not win a round against Lomachenko. Look, just to be honest. However, that does not mean it's not a perfect fight to make right now.
Fucking haters,
man. Right? Like, I'm never going to complain about 2 guys in the top 5 of the same weight class fighting each other ever. But Rob's saying it's a great fight and it could be interesting. No, it can't. Like, I can already tell you how that fight ends.
No, it can't.
2 Olympic gold medalists squaring off.
No, it can't.
Rob, in all seriousness, flag waving aside.
Yeah.
Do you think he has any chance to even make the fight competitive? I'm not saying win. Does he have a chance to win 3 or 4 rounds in the fight?
Yes.
Okay, he does. What, you going to outbox him? He's going to outbox him? How's he going to win these rounds, Rob?
I think Lomachenko has faced anyone as good as a boxer as Luke Campbell. He might be rusty. He might not.
Can't box?
Wait, hold on. Linares, the guy that beat Campbell, isn't a better boxer?
No. He just got a lucky flash knockdown.
Better hand speed.
Oh, look at Matt getting back on the train. Fuck, that train's gone, Matt. Get out of it.
Good call back to the Linares trains. But anyways, digressing. Gary, I think, I mean, look, Loma might win every round, but I think like this is just what we have to accept with greatness. Like, look at the Canelo fight. Like, that was a pretty dominant win in my opinion. Even though there's some debate about it, I thought he won a clear 7-8 rounds in that fight. And the more I've watched that fight, the more I think, Canelo won this. You know, and Canelo might do that to the whole division. He might dominate the whole division. Earl Spence might dominate the whole division and make them all look bad. But does that mean that they aren't great or that we shouldn't be happy for their success and when they fight top 5 competition? I think no. Those 2 things aren't compatible in my view. Like, I can't.
No.
Gary.
Yeah, I think we're agreeing. We just look at it differently. I agree. Like, I'm not complaining about the fight at all. The fight is fine, right? He's a top 5 lightweight. He's a good fighter, but it's just not like it's like when Floyd Mayweather fought Guerrero, right? It's like, okay, like,
No,
Guerrero
no,
just
no,
beat
no, no,
Berto,
no,
he
no,
earned
no,
the
no,
fight.
no,
It's just-
no,
it's not-
no. Come on. Come on. Guerrero was never top 5 at 147.
When Floyd fought him, I thought he was pretty. Not that he had any chance of beating Floyd, but I thought he was pretty good when he beat Berto. He beat Slick, and then he beat Berto. He beat him. I think did he stop Berto? He knocked him down a bunch of times at least. But Guerrero, like we look at Guerrero now having lost all those fights. At that time, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whenever that was, he was pretty good.
Yeah, but you're also a career lightweight too. Like, I mean, come on here, man. Like, I don't know. I just think that Campbell Loma is a great fight. It just happens to be one-sided. Why? Because one guy in this matchup happens to be one of the best boxers we've seen in the last 10, 20 years.
There's just way too many oxymorons going around right now. It's a great one-sided fight that the other guy isn't going to win a round.
Look. Here's the thing, Rob. There are sometimes great matchups that end up being one-sided, right? Like Loma Rigondeaux, in a sense, was a great matchup, regardless of the weight disparity. That was a great matchup on paper. It turned out to be dominant. Does that mean that fight is now shit? No, it doesn't. I know that we do that now, but we shouldn't have that mindset.
But we've got a preconceived idea that, well, Gary has, that Campbell hasn't got the ability to win a single second of any round in the fight. But he's saying it's a really good fight. I don't know how that works.
Those two things coexist
No, I'm
because
saying I have no problem with the fight. Go ahead.
I would say those two can coexist. Why? Because it is still Lomachenko fighting arguably the third best guy in the division right now. And Lomachenko just happens to be that great. You know, so I don't know. I just think that we, when I say we, I mean the boxing community, are too harsh on champions fighting top 10, top 5, even top 15 competition. We need to applaud that far more often because that is, I would say, more of the rarity instead of the norm. So we should always applaud that and not say, oh, it's just fine. Oh, it's all right. You know, because that, I think, disparages in a way. It's a backhanded compliment to a champion, a unified champion, going after a vacant belt with a top 3 guy in the division. That is awesome. I love that. Should petition another sanctioning body to, I want that belt. Give me the best guy in your rankings for him. That should be applauded. Gary.
That's kind of right, right? Like that's kind of right. You kind of swayed me on that, right? Like you know that the Golden State Warriors are going to win the championship, but you still watch them. Right? You don't say, "Oh, this is stupid. They're playing the Rockets. I'm not going to watch this stupid series." No, you watch it.
Yep.
So,
But do you go around saying they're going to beat them 100 points to fucking 50, but it's going to be a great basketball game?
Yeah, that point is understood too, right? Like, so you're saying great as in Matt saying there's a great fighter and a really good fighter. That's great. You're saying it's not great because the actual competition level, right? Like, it's not going to be.
Well, I'm saying it's great because I think Campbell's got a chance.
No. Rob is saying for you, like, you don't think it's great because hold on.
No, he said he thought it was a
Rob, you have to be more specific with who you're arguing here, because again, Gary has never said at any point that this fight's good.
He did.
No, he's never said that.
He did because it's a top 5 opponent.
He says fine. He says fine. He says fine. He says fine. I'm the one saying it's a great fight and it's a good fight, but it's one-sided. So you should really be arguing with me. Just being honest here. Gary is really not the one stating.
I'm bored of arguing with you, though. I keep winning.
You don't win ever. But Gary's not really saying what you're arguing with. I just want to specify that.
He's saying the fight's fine.
Yeah, I think he's more indifferent to the matchup, Gary, to speak for you.
If we were to be looking at an ESPN card or any card where we always say, oh, the A side's going to win, the A side's going to win, the A side's going to win, he doesn't. No one's saying these are fine fights that they know that the opponent isn't going to win a round. Gary's like, Campbell doesn't stand a hope in hell in winning a single round, yet he's fine with the fight.
But that's Lomachenko's reputation now, Rob. You have to understand that. Like, his reputation now is just to dominate opponents. Anthony Corolla was, what, top 10, top 15? He lasted 4 rounds and didn't win a second. Campbell's top 3, top 5, and he might win a couple seconds. He might win a round or two. But to believe that he is going to be ultra competitive is a leap of faith. Right?
I've got all the faith in the world.
I know you do.
That's why I
to you.
said I'm happy with the fight.
You weren't happy with the fight.
Yeah, I said I'm fine with the fight. It's just we went over this.
Originally, hours and hours and hours ago, you said, I'm not happy with this news. You did say that. But anyway, it's digressing from that. It doesn't matter.
But you have a blind faith, right? Like, there's a difference between faith. Like, I have faith the sun will rise tomorrow because it does every day, and saying, I think it's going to snow tomorrow in Texas. I have faith, right? That's two different things. You have blind faith. You've never seen anything that would say Campbell has anything.
That's not true, though. See, Gary, that's not true. See, that's not true. There's enough on.
To beat Lomachenko?
I didn't. When you. Whoa. You are moving goalposts there, Gary. Keep it
competitive. Okay.
No. You remember. There. You have switched your hyperbole here at times. You have said.
Okay.
You have said Loma won't lose a second. You have said Loma won't lose a round. You have said the fight won't be competitive. So be specific about what you mean, so we can have a better argument about it.
I mean Lomachenko will win every minute.
Okay, fine.
Right?
Okay. No.
Okay.
You helped my argument out. Thank you. No, thank you. You helped my argument out. We have enough tape to look at Campbell's career and say, no, he could give Loma issues in spots. He arguably beat Linares, and Linares is probably the toughest fight in Lomachenko's career beside the Salido loss. So, yes, it's a little bit of boxing math, but there is an argument that Campbell is good enough to give Loma some fits in spots. Absolutely. There's definitely not enough to say that he wins. Definitely not enough to maybe say that he's ultra competitive. But there's definitely enough to say that he gives Loma some trouble in spots. There is. We've seen him fight top competition.
And wins rounds. And wins 2, 3, 4 rounds. And doesn't look like Crawler, right? You saying
well, Gary, again, 2, 3, 4 rounds, that's a drastic difference in the percentage of the fight. You get what I'm saying here? Like, I think Campbell can win 2 rounds or 1 round. I think he could do that. Do I think he could win 4 rounds? No, not really.
And if you don't think Luke Campbell has way, far and away better boxing skill and IQ than Anthony Crawler, then you haven't watched enough of Luke Campbell.
Or even maybe Pedraza, even though Pedraza had a belt. Like, at 135, Campbell's really good.
Pedraza's better than Campbell, though.
Again, probably because he had that belt at 130, but at 135, I wouldn't say Pedraza's better. Why?
Campbell beats Pedraza.
Like, gun to your head, if you had to pick between Campbell and Pedraza, who do you pick?
I would take Pedraza.
See, I wouldn't.
Campbell. I just think... Okay. I like Campbell. I just think he's... There's nothing special about him, right? Like, he's good. He's a really good boxer. He's got a good jab. He moves well, but there's nothing... Like, what does he do great? You know what I'm saying?
He's got a good jab.
He's a really skilled boxer.
Gary, again, we're not arguing. Yeah. No one here is arguing that Campbell's winning. No one is here arguing that he has that special it factor to win. All we're saying here is that he is top 5 in the division. He is talented enough. He is skilled enough to hang in there with Loma for the 12 rounds and give him issues in spots. Absolutely.
Yeah. Every time Loma fights lately, he's breaking something.
All the way to the end. He's a top 5 guy. He's got good skills. He's going to hang in there till the end. That's where I would say there's a 5% chance he goes also around. I am 95% certain Loma stops him at some point in this fight. But
okay,
whatever. I think we agree on more things than we disagree on this fight.
Yes.
What percentage did you give? What percentage did you give Flanagan to beat Prograis?
I am never gonna let that down. Right?
No,
I probably gave the same chance that Matt gave Lemieux to beat Billy Joe Saunders.
No, there was no way. There was no way. There was no way about that. There was no way.
Is it the same percentage of people that watched Easter Bartholomew 1 are going to tune in for the rematch?
Close to 0, yes.
Well, either 100% aren't or 0% will, however.
I don't even know where we're going with that.
I don't know, Gary.
What are we talking about
It doesn't
now?
matter. It doesn't matter. What do you want to talk about, Gary? Keith Thurman, Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah, Virgil Ortiz. Why are we not having another show on him? Because Sundays, a lot of times people are busy. They can't tune in. So why did we leave with Virgil Ortiz again today? Just out of curiosity.
Gary, because we talked about that car for 2.5 hours, and you didn't call in and talk about it. So
breaking news, Gary, you should contact his. I was going to say promoter then, nearly Golden Boy, who done one tweet about him that night.
One social media post in the entire night about the electrifying prospect that's going to dominate 140 pounds.
Whereas DAZN done more. They done a nice.
Okay.
He plays the guitar and everything.
That was nice.
Yeah, cute.
I mean, I like De La Hoya. I liked him as a fighter. He gets Canelo paid. He is a horrible promoter. Can we just say that?
Yeah, we all know that.
He is terrible.
Yeah.
He's the worst person ever selling a fight. Like, he's the worst pitched man ever. It's going to be an exciting fight. It's going to be two great fighters. He's awful. And he's got the future of 140 and that 147-pound division. And you have no idea. Like, if this was a PBC guy or a top-ranked guy or an Eddie guy, you'd see him all the time. Yeah,
even Frank Warren, I think, does a far better job of highlighting his prospects.
Let me tell you, if this was PBC, he maybe would have had 3 social media posts about him. If it was Matchroom, there'd probably be like 23.
20.
I'm just saying, levels.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Eddie would be talking about Virgil Ortiz. He's the one that's going to beat Canelo, right? Like he was.
No, that's Andrade next. Andrade first.
That's Andrade next. Although I think that fight won't happen because Andrade could beat him, but that's for another episode entirely.
That
when
did you really just say that?
Jacobs,
hold on, Gary.
I've been saying this for years now.
I know.
Sunday. He said this Sunday. He said, "I think he could beat him." And then he said, "But I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to. We can get into that another day." And then he's just said, "But we can get into that another day." Just now as well.
Why? That one split decision win or Vance Rosen 5 years ago makes you think that Andrade's the guy to beat Canelo? Really?
Because Canelo can't beat a moving target, apparently.
It's not only that. It's not just his resume. Andrade is fundamentally not a great boxer. Really good talent, really good skill. Does he put it together? No. Does he know how to capitalize on moments? Absolutely not. His boxing IQ is extremely low because he never knows when to actually go to fourth gear, when to throw a combination. But his technique is perfect. How he puts it together and strategizes is non-existent, completely non-existent. So yeah, I don't think Andrade, even in his southpaw stance, is going to give Canelo any issues at all. Canelo's going to style on him easily.
Okay, not only do I think that he gives him problems, I think he wins more rounds than Canelo. So unless Canelo stops him, I think Andrade beats him. You saw when Jacobs was winning rounds, he was fighting out of the southpaw stance. Canelo does not do well with southpaws who move.
But guess what? Guess what? Jacobs is far and away a better overall talent than Demetrius Andrade. Just night and day difference. One's effective, one isn't. Like that is fundamentally the issue for Andrade. He's not effective at anything he does.
You can say he's not tested. You can't say he's not effective because he's won every fight he's ever been in. Right? You can't say he's not effective.
No, I can absolutely say that. Whoa. I can absolutely say that. He's had issues in all of his fights. All of his fights he's had issues in. Jack Kelkay, Walter Katandoka, whatever their fucking names are. He's had issues in every one of his fights. Every one of his fights. You're going to tell me that he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez, arguably the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world? Really?
Until Campbell dethrones Loma.
Right.
Pound for pound number one right there. Yes. Booyah. Outdoor rules. Gary, back to you.
Yeah, I think stylistically, he's all wrong. Now, could Canelo track him down and hurt him to the body and get him out? That could happen, right? But if it goes the distance, I think absolutely Andrade wins more rounds. 100%.
The dude struggled. The dude struggled with fucking Walter. His name was Walter. Okay? Come on.
He knocked him down 5 times and then won every round. When did he struggle with him?
No, you don't understand my issues with him.
You can't
I understand.
say he's called Walter.
I understand.
Therefore, he gets his face punched in.
That is exactly how it works in life, Rob. Okay. I'm talking about his ability to know what to do at the right moments. His fighter IQ, his in-ring IQ, his overall strategy, his implementation of tactics, those are non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. He knocked down Walter what's-his-name 5 times and couldn't get him out of there. 5 times. Midget Jack Kelkay from Germany hurt him multiple times. Okay? Vans Marder-Rosen gave him tons of issues. Vans fucking Marder-Rosen, Gary. Come on.
Dude, use Rob's logic, though. Donis Marder-Rosen was up on the scorecard when he got knocked out by Triple G in the second round. I understand. Look.
Go, Gary.
I understand. He's a flawed fighter for sure. That being said,
90 seconds.
And skilled enough that I think his southpaw stand is Canelo's kryptonite. I think he's good enough, athletic enough, heavy-fisted enough that he can do what Jacobs was doing to win rounds, and he can do that 7 out of 12 rounds of the fight. He can execute Jacobs' game plan, Laura's game plan out of the southpaw stand, and win that by out-jabbing him and moving him, and out-moving him.
60 seconds.
I'm not saying I think he's going to go in there, he's going to style on him, that he's going to blow him out. I think he can win more rounds. If he can stay on his feet, he wins the fight. That's all I'm saying.
Stay off the weed.
The weed.
Gary, I just don't see it, man. I'll be honest. Andrade is not high on my list. Like, there are several names I would place higher up than Andrade to be the ones to beat Canelo. Jamal Charlo, even with his issues with the Matt Korobov fight, I still think Jamal Charlo has a better chance to beat him than Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade is too flawed, in my opinion. I'll be honest.
Okay.
10 seconds.
I don't think that he's a flawless fighter. I don't think that his resume puts him ahead of any of those guys. I mean, just from a stylistic standpoint,
I understand.
I
totally understand. Yeah. I just disagree with it.
And I know everyone's going to disagree with me, so that's fine. Like, that's cool. Right? Just like when I said that I think that Sean Porter, Ugas would outbox Porter. Everyone thought I was wrong, and the fight was really close. Okay. I see a stylistic problem there for Canelo. That's it. And I don't think the fight will be made because of it. Because he's not really a draw, and it's high risk, low reward to fight him. That's really all I got. Is there any other topics?
Or was Ugas up on the cards when he ended up losing on the cards?
Mysteries surround us. Thank you for the call, Gary. Quickly, a little piece of news. Gary Russell Jr.'s... Hold on. Not Gary Russell. Why did I say that? Gervonta Davis. Because I don't have it up right now. Gervonta Davis. WBA has ordered Gervonta Davis versus Ricardo Nunes for the super featherweight title. Nunes is 25 years old with a record of 21 wins, 19 by KO, and 2 defeats. Cool. Who cares? Also, WBA announced a purse bid for Char and Trevor Bryan. Could literally give 0 shits. I wouldn't say negative shits, but that seemed a little pedantic. Anyways, quick shout out to Fighter IQ, aka Ron the Mastermind in the chat. What up, Ron? Hope you're doing well. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today. Rob, final thoughts time.
Yeah, final thoughts. WBC done their thing. As much as I don't like it, I still like the fight. I'm giving Campbell an outside chance. Not as wide as the bookies have got it right now. I think that will close up. But Gary loves coming in here saying someone won't win a second of a round and this, that, and the other.
Imagine
Campbell does that step around, like Loma does. Whether he does it better, we'll find out. But
imagine thinking that Luke Campbell cannot win a single second of a fight with Lomachenko, and then simultaneously thinking that Demetrius Andrade is the guy to give Canelo issues and beat Canelo.
I know, right?
I'm so damn amazing. You thought I was fucking blazing.
I'm so glad that only me and you know what that is from. So glad.
Others do. Maybe they found it. Who knows? Great piece of hip hop, as you like to call it over there, I believe. But yeah, obviously, fellas, hit the subscribe button, the share button, the like button,
all the buttons. Hit them.
Soon, hopefully, you'll be able to hit the super chat button. Who knows? Come on, YouTube, do your thing. We've been waiting.
I can't believe they message you back and still haven't done anything about it.
Yeah, I was like,
the audacity of them, right? To give our hopes up and then to not do
I
anything.
think every single person, when they say, send me a screenshot from this, all they want to see is that, oh yeah, they do qualify. Well, if, people are looking at it, we'll let you know sooner. Hopefully it won't take much longer. Just fucking do that shit already. Come on.
Yeah, to be honest, it hasn't even been that long. I know tons of other channels that took.
Oh, yeah.
Way longer. So,
what was it when they first said, I should get back to you with a month or so?
It's a month.
And January 19th. And I was like, well, that's fucking 3 months or so. Come on now. And then I saw someone else that had said, I've been waiting 7 months. I was like, oh my God. But YouTube making those decisions like the WBC or some shit around here.
Very quickly, Fat Apples, we talked about that on the show. Usyk talking being canceled. People coming in late.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. If you want to see us talk about that, we just rerun the show. It's there. Don't worry.
Someone in the chat literally said it after we finished talking about it. They said, I'm sure I just heard that he's... I'm like, yeah, you probably heard it here just about a minute ago. But yeah, very quickly on that, Eddie Hearn has said to Dan Raphael, I've lost it, but he's still looking at having Haney and the other fighters fight on the night. So whether Haney steps in as the main event, great minds.
Hopefully it's not a bad opponent.
His opponent's announced. I forgot his opponent's name.
I don't remember.
Huh?
I don't remember.
I will tell you while you do your little
Okay. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like Rob said, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, head over to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. $1 a month gets you extra shows per week. Plus, obviously, you can find me at Matt Hunter MCR, all platforms. Find Rob at UK Rob MCR, all platforms. Find Fugatti, our other co-host, who can't be here because of his day job. Fugatti MCR, all platforms. MCR Radio Show on Twitter. MCR Podcast on IG. And obviously, Mixed Combat Radio on Facebook as well. Hit all the buttons everywhere, guys, ladies. And see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day. Have a great night. Rob, you wanted to say something, right?
Yeah, it was just Devin Haney was recently signed to Eddie Hearn and was scheduled to fight Antonio Moran, who is 24-3, 17 knockouts, 26 of Mexico.
By the way, Lunatic beat you to it on the chat.
That's right.
Lunatic, if you added to that saying like the opponent is Antonio Moran, I would have understood what that name meant. Just a random name I didn't know. Like Antonio Moran, like who the fuck is that in the chat, right? But anyways, guys, great night, great day, wherever you are. Peace.
Later.
I don't need to rap and walk. I can use my ad-libs. Watch this.
That is stupid. Use your common sense.
Stay off the weed. You piece of shit. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Hey, pussy, are you still there?